Good afternoon.
Hey,
How are you doing?
good. Running around, but name of the game.
Cool. Yes, ma'am. Well, this is Iris, Miss Membrere, and I'm Sebastian Matthews. And Miss Iris has taken the time to explain title. I have some first-time home buyers and sellers, and we have been running into some questions about what is title, some title policies. So, like I said, Miss Membrane has taken the time to answer a couple questions for us. Before we get started, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
So I'm Iris. I'm the VP of Market Development here at Priority Settlement Group of Texas out here in Harker Heights. My market is Central Texas and West Texas, but our company covers all of Texas and we can close in all 50 states. Little about our company is we pride ourselves on having the lowest fees in the industry, as well as providing convenience through earnest money and option deposits through your phone, through an app, as well as mobile notaries, where we bring the closing to you and your clients, and you create this closing experience and no longer come into the title company and do the traditional way of things. It's where the industry is going in the future.
Cool. That's very innovative.
Yes.
And how long you been doing this type of work?
So I've been in it for, I will say, a few years now. Prior service, got here to Fort Hood, and got out and stayed in Texas. So
Cool.
real estate kind of fell in my lap, and here I am.
All
Been
right.
through it all, seen a lot in every transaction.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you for your services. I know that that's a big sacrifice. And for anybody watching who doesn't know, my name is Sebastian Matthews, and I'm a realtor with Keller Williams. I've been selling real estate for going on a little bit under 3 years. I sold new construction for Saratoga Homes, and now, like I said, signed with Keller Williams and got a couple contracts, got a couple qualified buyers. So now that things are rolling, like I said, there's been some questions about title. So I'm just
Mhm.
gonna take a couple minutes and get a couple of these questions answered. So
Yeah.
first and foremost, what necessarily is title per se, and how important is that in a real estate transaction?
Okay. So title is your legal right to own real property. It's the ownership of your property. What a title company does in a transaction and why it's so important is we facilitate everything that's discussed and negotiated between buyer, seller, lender, and agents. So all parties necessary in a real estate transaction, we're the middleman, we're Switzerland, so we take care of all of that. And in order for you to have ownership in real property, you have to have title.
Okay, cool. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being super duper important, where would you rank it at?
I will say 10 just because you're always going to need a title company in every real estate transaction. Whether it's a cash deal or involves a lender, the title company is always the one to facilitate because you need a neutral third party to make sure everyone's abiding by what was agreed upon.
Cool. Yeah, that makes sense because, like you said, some homes are financed while others are cash, but regardless, you'll still need your title cleared.
Yes, you
Cool.
definitely need to clear a title before it passes on to your new owner.
Cool. Thank you. Well, question two. Usually, after you get a contract submitted and it's executed, they say it takes about 30 days to close.
Mhm.
Now, does that have anything to do with the title research, or does that have anything to do with the lender, or is it kind of a mixture of both? Can you explain that?
So typically people say 30 days is just, it allows the lender that 30-day period to get all the documents needed for the buyer to get them that clear to close. So that's where that 30-day comes from. When it comes to a cash deal, it could take up to 2 weeks. Could be less, could be more, depending on how fast we can clear title. Mhm.
Okay, cool.
So it really is dependent on being proactive as a buyer and being proactive as a seller. And that's how you'll have a smooth and fast closing.
Okay. So could you like tell me like the day in the life of like clearing a title
Mhm.
or a file? How does that work?
So once the title commitment and all the title search comes out, we'll see if there's any existing liens on the property, judgments, anything that is held to that property. And what we don't want to do is we don't want to transfer those liens. Say an existing mortgage of $204,000 to the new owner, because now it's going to be that new owner's responsibility. So us as a title company, that's where title insurance comes into play. You want to ensure that, that $204,000 lien on the property, it's not going to be the responsibility of the new owner. So we have to, obtain the payoff from the existing mortgage company. Any additional documents needed, such as like maybe like a divorce decree, a will, or anything like that to support, the transfer of rights and transfer of title, and to keep that, take care of that at closing.
Ooh, okay, that makes sense. So, like you were saying, so what is the consequence if there is, what I've heard is a cloud on the title, or
Yeah.
something is wrong with, the current owner trying to switch it to some other owner? How does that work?
So if there's like a cloud on title or a break and chain in title, meaning like if we've researched every deed on that property, every name has to transfer to the next, like the seller to buyer, that to the new owner, and then so on and so forth. If names don't match up, or we're missing dates or something like that, that's a break and chain, meaning someone still has interest on that property. So it wasn't passed down properly. In order for us to fix that, is we'll have to reach back out, for however long, just to make sure that they sign their rights properly over, so that the person that's going to purchase the property has 100% ownership and right.
Cool.
Versus
So
maybe
same thing with like if taxes were owed or anything like that, you got to
hmm
cover it up. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so you want to make sure that gets taken care of prior to you closing on your house, and that's where we'll obtain a tax cert. We'll obtain the existing payoff. If you have a water softener that you're making payments on, or a solar panel that you're making payments on, like we
Hmm.
have to obtain those payoffs and abide by the contract that you have with that company.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, that's a very good information. Like I said, I didn't know that. So you just said something about deeds. So what's the difference between title and a property deed?
So the deed is the evidence of ownership to the property. So that's that legal document that's recorded in the county clerk's office showing that, hey, this is the current owner of this property. This is the person that title is in. So title, again, is the legal right of ownership for real property, and the deed is just the provided evidence to show that you do have that legal right at that point in time and when.
Okay, cool. So when I bought my first property, I know, like I said, I went to the escrow office, signed some papers. I was just like, yeah, okay, and I was just ready for the keys.
Mhm.
So when you get like your closing docs, is it something that you need to store in a safe? Is my title and deed there with me, or it's something you need to keep on a hard drive? How does that work?
So with this day and age, definitely keep an electronic copy. Keep the hard copy as well, because you never know if someone comes on your land and it's like, no, I own this, and you can just show them the deed, like, no, I actually own this legally. This is mine. The county clerk's office, if it's recorded there, will have a copy as well, and they can give you a certified copy if you request it. So, but it's better safe than sorry.
30 seconds. Sorry. Okay, keep that in mind. And so one of my last questions. So what about title rights? Because like you said, you own the property. I know you have like certain rights. Could you explain that to us as well?
So title is like you own a bundle of rights to the property. So, granted, here in Texas, there are some restrictions that come with certain areas that we're in. And then that's where the title search comes in, where you can see what restrictions you have. Like, let's say you want to build an 8 feet fence, like 8 foot tall fence.
Mhm.
And the restriction there is no, you can't. Like, it can only go up to 6 feet. So, I mean, you can do with what you want in with your property within the regulations and guidance of what the city has made.
Okay, cool. So I can like put a shed back there, like as long as it's in.
hmm As
Cool.
long as it's approved by here in Harker Heights, you'll have to go to like the city to get a permit and get everything approved if you're going to do a permanent shed.
Okay.
hmm
Alrighty. And for any realtors out there, like I said, I know when we're doing the contract, there's a small piece that talks about title policy.
Mhm.
So can you explain like why that's important?
So title policies are basically what the title company is going to insure on the property. Like, let's say title insurance is always needed, or if a lender is involved in a transaction, they're going to always, purchase a lender insurance or a loan policy. That's going to give them a lien holding position for their interest in the property that they're going to, loan you money for. So it's highly recommended. It's not mandatory, but highly recommended that new buyers purchase an owner's title insurance or owner's policy. That's going to protect them from anything that's happened from the time they closed on their property and backwards. So let's say you purchased a new construction and the builder forgot to pay the subcontractor that built the roof.
Hmm.
That subcontractor can put a lien on that property,
Hmm.
and then that lien is going to be the responsibility of the new owner. But what the title insurance does is it covers you from that with all the legal issues that come about to show, like, hey, no, this isn't my responsibility. It's the previous owners, and I only own ownership from this date and forward. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So definitely need that just in case.
Yes.
Okay. And with multiple title companies, throughout Central Texas and throughout the United States, what would be your best advice on, choosing the right one?
So best advice about choosing a title company is research every single title company. Look at who's going to offer you what you're looking for, whether you're looking to save money on closing costs, whether you're looking to, if you have an um, out of state seller or buyer, or if you're PCSing, if you're in the military here in the area, can you bring a notary out to, let's say you're going to move to Georgia,
Hmm.
like, for free, and then also find a team that's there for you, that's going to work for you, that it's not seen as a 9 to 5. Like, it's, you guys work all the time, everyone has a regular job, buyers, sellers, lenders, we all have like maybe a 9 to 5.
Right.
But the title company, you don't want to pick someone that's not going to work with your schedule, because you're going to have questions after 5 o'clock. You're going to have people will text you at like 6 in the morning.
Right.
Heck, we had like a closing where a surgeon was operating at 6:30 and he could only close at 5:30 in the morning. Granted, like really early, 5:30 in the morning, but they created a pajama party for that, and we
Right.
brought the closing to him at his house.
Wow. That's nice.
Hmm.
Okay, cool. So I think you definitely taught me a lot, and those are, like I said, some of the common questions I've got from my first time sellers and buyers. Is there anything else that, something I missed or something you want to share that could be informational?
When it comes to a closing, once we get an executed contract, everyone's in it, buyer, seller, agents, lender. The best thing for everybody in the transaction is if you could be as proactive as possible. Like, let's say, let's get all the existing mortgage payoff information right at the front, so we already have that payoff, and before we get it clear to close, even with your lender, like, make sure you get everything that your lender's asking for right then and there. I know it's difficult, but the faster we get things, the faster we can close, the smoother the process, and the less surprises.
Cool.
Oh, and then don't buy furniture and like a car right before closing.
Yeah,
Typical things.
I've heard that before as well.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you for, like I said, taking the time out of your busy schedule. And if individuals want to reach out to you, what would be the best way to get in contact with you?
So contact me through my social media platforms. I'm on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram. You can like DM me. It's closing TX_Iris. Email me. My cell phone's probably the best way to reach me. I'm always like, it's always in my hand, so I'm always answering it. So I'll give you that information to post and stuff.
Cool.
But yeah.
All right, all right. So thank you. And I'm definitely looking forward to working together, closing some deals here in the near future.
Hmm.
Like I said, appreciate your expertise and thanks for everything.
No problem. If y'all need anything, I'm always here. Any questions, ask them away. There's no such thing as a dumb question.
Cool. All righty. Well, have a good day.
You too. Bye.